Hare Krishna. Here we are in chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita and verse number 19. Okay, anyone remembers anything from the previous class? Am I? Oh, wait, I didn't switch on the Zoom. Okay, can you just give me the Zoom ID? No, tell me. 836 235 0660. Is it? 06605. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Am I audible to the online devotees? Okay, I cannot hear you.
TV.
Oh. Yeah, can someone speak now?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, you're audible. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, any quick points that we were discussing from last time? In the meantime, let me open my other resources.
So we talked about Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We did some revision about inaction, inaction, and action, and inaction.
Okay.
I
And?
just saw my notes and so
No problem. You just share what you like, what you remember.
I remember that you were telling about how different kind of people suffer.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who are materially attached, they suffer because of their past karmas.
Mm-hmm.
Pure devotees suffer because Krishna wants to glorify them and set an example that the world can like follow. And
Right.
the sadhakas suffer due to their still some like dirt is left in their like heart, or no, so Krishna wants to like cleanse them. So that is why sadhakas suffer.
Okay, good. Very important point. Thank you. Anyone else? So from the last class, you remember anything? Attachment. Okay. Yeah. Any one point? We discussed for 1 hour last week.
I think we were discussing in detail only action, inaction, and inaction, and how.
Okay. What does that mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Like how only intelligent men can differentiate. Basically, it is about your materialistic duties and spiritual duties.
Okay.
In materialistic duties, it is action and inaction, even though
Right.
you might be working hard, but
Okay.
it becomes plus, 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 and minus, minus, minus. So eventually, it is zero. Whereas your spiritual duty is action in inaction, where it always is plus, 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 and whatever you are doing, it may seem to the world that you're not doing anything.
Okay.
But that is what action is, and only intelligent men can differentiate.
Very good. Thank you. I'm getting confidence in my teaching. Usually, no one says anything.
You said in the last.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. You're playing the point also. Okay. So we are going to do the 19th verse. Can you please repeat? Yasya sarve samarambhaah काम संकल्प वर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्ध कर्माणम् तमाहु पंडितम बुधा. See some important words. The kama means desire for sense gratification. Kama sankalpa varjitaha. When work is done without desire for sense gratification. Jnana agni dagda karmanam. When we have perfect knowledge and we do work without desire for sense gratification, then it burns up all the reactions of work. Okay. We'll see the translation. Yeah, can you read?
One is understood to be in full knowledge whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge.
Okay. Purport. You understood the words? Maybe you can repeat. One is understood
One is understood
Understood.
to be in full knowledge,
To be in full knowledge,
whose every endeavor
whose every endeavor
is devoid of
is devoid of
desire for sense gratification.
desire for
for
sense
sense
gratification.
gratification.
He is said by the sages
He is said by sages
to be a worker
to be a worker
for whom
for whom
the reactions of work
the reactions of work
have been burned up
have been burned up
by the fire of perfect knowledge.
by the fire of perfect knowledge.
Okay, can you read the purport?
Only a person in full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. Because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensities. It is to be understood that he has burned up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is actually learned who has attained such perfection of knowledge. Development of this knowledge of eternal servitorship to the Lord is compared to fire. Such a fire, once kindled, can burn up all kinds of reactions to work.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे यस्य सर्वे समारंभाः काम संकल्प वर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्नि दग्ध कर्माणं तमाहु पंडितम पुदाः. So we gave the title for today's discussion as "Get Free or Get Fried." Hmm? Any idea why we titled it like that? After you read the translation, "Get Free or Get Fried." No, no guesses.
So we
Yeah.
do work without desires. That's why we'll get free.
Okay, so you are saying we cannot work with desires. We have to kill the desires. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no desire.
Also,
Slave
you
is
have to
work.
be in Krishna consciousness
Okay.
to be free from these desires. I think then only it is possible.
So what does Krishna consciousness mean? Does it mean you have to get rid of all the desires? What does it mean? Yes?
Desire to serve Krishna.
Desire only to serve Krishna. Only for Krishna, nothing for us. Okay.
Purify the desires.
Huh?
Purify your desires.
Purify the desires. Okay, thank you. Yeah?
Putting
Yeah.
Krishna in center of every work that we do.
Okay. Whatever desires we have, make it Krishnized. Okay. Good. Good answers. Hmm. So we are in this material world for one reason, for enjoying, isn't it? So we have all every day practically we are trying to enjoy. How many of you have enjoyed sleeping today? Yeah. Eating, ate some nice food. Yeah. So daily on daily basis we are looking for enjoyment, and the Vedic scriptures say this is natural. It's not wrong to not enjoy. I mean, it's not wrong to enjoy. Rather, it's unnatural to not enjoy. It is said in the Vedanta Sutra, Anandamaya Abhyasat. Anandamaya Abhyasat means by nature, the spirit soul is pleasure seeking. And where does this nature come from? Comes from Krishna. Mama Vamsho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Krishna says he is the supreme person, but all these jivas, all the living entities occupying different bodies, were all parts and parcels of Krishna. So whatever nature Krishna has, we also have. But he has it in oceanic proportion, and we have it in minute, infinitesimal proportion. Krishna can digest thousands of gulab jamuns. We can digest two at a time. Isn't it? So Krishna is compared like to the sun. We are compared to the particles of the sunlight. Or Krishna is actually all in all. In front of Krishna, we are almost nothing, isn't it? So therefore, we find Krishna has the qualities of, like, say, if I'm saying I'm a very honest person, where is that honesty coming from? Krishna. You agree? Okay. If someone says I'm very greedy, where is that greed coming from? Krishna? Yes, no? Yeah? Greed also comes from Krishna. Where is love coming from? Where is lust coming from? No? Lust is energy. Okay. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. Okay. Where does anger come from? No? From Maya. Or where does Maya come from? Okay. So Krishna says in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1, the first verse, not Krishna says, this is the introductory verse. Vyasadeva writes, he says, Krishna is called as Janmadi Yasya Yataha. This is the definition of God. If someone asks, what do you mean by God? You have to tell them the statement. Janmadi Asya Yataha. From that person from whom everything emanates, he is called as God. He is the creator of everything, including lust, anger, greed. That also comes from Krishna. The stealing propensity comes from whom? Krishna. Yeah. If he didn't have this stealing propensity, we would not have. But of course, there's a catch to it. When Krishna steals butter from the house of other gopis, he's okay, of course, he's doing it for the pleasure of the gopis. Okay. To remove their karma. Okay. He's stealing, no? Where they'll have Krishna.
Like when he does eat it and like leave it, right? So that
He's still full. Not going to leave anything behind. Hare Krishna. What's the name? Gokul. Wonderful name. Then come, right? So everything in this world comes from Krishna. If someone says, say, anger comes from Maya, then where did Narasimhadev's anger come from? Yeah. So therefore, we have to understand who is God. Sometimes what happens is, like one moralist freedom fighter said, wherever he would go, he would walk around with a copy of the Gita. And once he was asked by a reporter, see, I see that you are walking with Gita everywhere you go, but do you know who your Krishna is? And this reporter continued to say, your Krishna is that person who dances with the wives of other men. To which this person, politician, seemingly noble, he replied saying, if that's what Krishna does, then I don't believe in such a Krishna. Isn't it? So oftentimes we feel or we define God according to our logic box. Isn't it? That means if God fits in our logic box, then he's God. That means who can be God? Then he should be polite, he should be honest, he should be very good to everyone. Isn't it? Like Rama. Therefore, Rama is very easy to accept. But some people have problem because Rama sent Sita to forest. No, Rama also they have a problem. Why? Because our logic box. If God cannot fit in my logic and moral box, then he cannot be God. This is another kind of illusion. If God fits in your logic box, how is he infinite? Isn't it? If you say God is infinite, then how can he fit in your logic box? So, why am I saying this? First of all, we have to understand this enjoying mentality is not wrong. But how do we enjoy? That is the real question. To enjoy separate from God, that is wrong according to Vedic scriptures. To try to go against the laws of God for independent enjoyment, that is considered to be sinful. So these propensities are in God. God also displays seemingly lust, but whatever he displays, it is on absolute platform. Narasimhadev was angry, but out of that anger, what came out? Deliverance of Hiranyakashipu. Have you done anything good when you're angry? When Narasimhadev is angry, he delivered some, he gave liberation to someone. So our anger destroys, God's anger liberates. Similarly, when Krishna is stealing, he is satisfying the hearts of his devotees by such pastimes. Yeah. And but if we go and say that, my God, Krishna steals, so I'm also going to steal butter from the fridge of my neighbor, then he will give you a good beating. That's all we get. So when Krishna stole he got a name called as Makanchor. So he's glorified as Makanchor. When we steal, we'll get a good beating. You have to understand? Our stealing and Krishna's stealing. Now Krishna ran away from the battlefield. He defeated this Jarasandha, King Jarasandha, 17 times. And the 18th time when he came, Jarasandha, again he brought his another army. And again he wanted to challenge. He didn't have good intelligence. He didn't understand 17 times I've been defeated. He was so obstinate and adamant. He thought maybe 18th time I have a chance. So Krishna did another thing. His activities are called as Adbhuta Karmanaha. Adbhuta Karmanaha means they're so wonderful, you cannot predict how Krishna acts. So at this time, what did he do? As Jarasandha came with his next army, Krishna took a about turn and ran away from there. For a Kshatriya, to run away from battle is worse than death. For one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. And this is instruction Krishna is telling to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, what will people talk of you in the future if you, take to cowardice and not fight? Therefore, you should fight. And what did Krishna do? He ran away from the battlefield. So when Arjuna does it, it is bad. He'll be blasphemed in the future. But when Krishna did it, he's called as Ranchor, isn't it? So he's glorified for his activity. Why? Because whatever Krishna does, it's on absolute platform. It doesn't harm anyone. He might give punishment to someone or he might reward someone. Both are of the same nature. This is called as absolute platform. Whereas when we do something, we are on a duality platform or relative platform. So when we do good to someone, they like it. When you do bad to someone, they don't like it. Or you try to do good, they perceive as bad. You do bad, they perceive as good. So much of relativity is there. So the whole point why am I explaining this to you is we have to understand why do we want to enjoy? It is natural. So next question comes, how do we enjoy? Therefore, Krishna has given this Vedic scriptures. We have to enjoy in alignment with God. Why? Why should we enjoy in alignment with God only? Why not otherwise? What will happen if I enjoy however I want? What is the consequence? Karma, very good. What about it?
You are bounded. You
You're
are in
bounded,
this
okay?
cycle where even if you do good, you'll come back. Even if you do bad, you'll come back.
Okay.
So, but if you enjoy according to
Mm.
Krishna and
Interestingly, this verse says you have to do work without the desire for self gratification. What does that mean? Then you should not enjoy. Is it?
but enjoy
Yeah.
doing work in Krishna's service.
What about it?
Like whatever you do, like take his name while
Mhm.
doing sure do your duties.
So, for example,
Chanting every day.
okay, I go to restaurant or say I go to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm purchasing donuts. I take his name, Krishna, Krishna. I take. So, is it going to destroy my reactions? I mean, yeah. Who said yeah? Okay. You said yeah.
That depends on the situation why you're.
Why you're eating?
Because if there is no
Generally, I'm not asking about exceptions. Generally, isn't it? Otherwise, what will happen? There'll be some miscreants who will justify all their actions by saying Krishna Krishna. Exam cheat with yeah.
Is this what you mean? Like if I get a donut and offer it to Krishna and then I have it, so before I eat it, Krishna is the one who enjoys the donut. But
Okay.
at the same time, if I get a bagel that has something that I shouldn't be eating, against
Which cannot be offered to Krishna.
which I
Yeah.
which I cannot offer to Krishna, like have that meal,
Okay.
and I cannot offer to. That means
Okay. Good.
that's
Okay.
what you would find.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was making a point that we cannot just say Krishna Krishna and so we should also know how to act. Did we do one verse which said that you need to know what is action, what is sanctioned action, what is forbidden action, and what? Hmm?
I
What?
think that was 17.
17? Yeah, somewhere there it comes correct. One should know how to act and how not to act in this world. So, in one way, if we act according to this verse, if we act for one's own sense gratification, definitely one is creating reactions in the future. And what are those reactions? The reactions are of four types. Okay, now for you to be very attentive in hearing so that you can memorize these four words. The reactions are kutam, bijam, falonmukha, and prarabdha. Can anyone repeat? Okay, very good. Okay, prarabdha, fourth one. Phala unmukha. Phala unmukha. If it gets too difficult, I will not. I'll try to make it easy. Phala unmukha.
Prabhuji, fal unmukh means that something which is done for a like for an consequence. Like so that is like for when keeping an end goal in mind, if someone is doing something, that's fal unmukh.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So now, however we act, so we'll come to this. These are the type of reactions. Whenever we perform an action, the reaction is produced immediately in the form of these four types. Okay. Now, keeping this aside, now in Asha Prabhu showed you the Krishna book. Okay, I think it's chapter 60 or I don't remember what 64 about the story of King Nriga. Anyone heard of King Nriga before? You have heard King Nriga? Yeah, King Nriga. NRGA. So this King Nriga, he was known for his charity. He was highly charitable. Why? Because by performing charity, he would gain prosperity, according to Vedas. So this is in the Vedas, this is called as Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda means you follow certain rules and regulations of the Vedas so that you can earn something, get something back. Yeah. The Vedas say if you worship Shiva, you can get a good husband. If you worship Uma, you can get a good wife. If you worship Kubera, you can get wealth. If you worship Ganesh, you can get success. So on and so forth. This is all called as karma kanda, where there's and where you do something to gain something back in return. This is called as karma kanda. Not the best. So this King Nriga, he was expert at Vedic scriptures, the karma kanda section of the Vedic scriptures. So he would perform charity after charity, and naturally he had become the king, isn't it? So he had developed this something called as fruitive mentality. What is fruitive mentality? If you do something, you expect something in return. So therefore, these karma kanda is also called as fruitive activities. So far, so good. Not too technical. Okay. Now this King Nriga, one day he donated about 1 lakh cows. Sorry, that's 100,000 cows. 100,000 cows to Brahmana, one Brahmana. Call him Brahmana 1. So what had happened, one of the cows from the 1 lakh cows came back unknowingly, unknown to Brahmana 1 and unknown to King Nriga. into the entire set of cows which King Niga had. Now he gave in charity another 100,000 cows to second Brahmana, of which the returned cow also was donated to second Brahmana. Now what happened? The Brahmana one came with great anger. He said, "How can you take back something that you have given in charity? So I demand that cow back." King Niga said, "Of course, you can have it back." And Brahmanas were so sharp. He went through an entire herd of cows and he said, "I don't find this cow here." And then King Niga understood the cow has been donated to Brahmana too. So, as a substitute, what did King Niga say? King Niga do? He said he is ready to give another 100,000 cows in replacement of this one cow. But Brahmana one said, "No, I want that cow." Sometimes Brahmanas can be very picky. And then this King Niga, he went to the Brahmana too and asked, "Can I have the cow back? I'll give you 100,000 cows." He said, "No. When you have given something in donation, you cannot ask it back, against the rules of the scriptures." So he was in a fix. He didn't know what to do. Naturally, he got cursed by Brahmana one. He is doing so much of charity, so much of donation, only to get cursed. And that person said, "Because you're not very clean in your transaction, therefore I curse you to be a lizard." So he became a huge lizard, Dwapar Yuga lizard, so very huge. And he was in, and of course, King Niga started praying to the Brahmana, "Please, do something. I don't want to spend my life, all my life as a lizard." So Brahmana said, "Don't worry, because you're good at heart. You will be born in a well that is in Krishna's courtyard." There's also a story. Somehow he was in touch with Krishna also. He had appreciated Krishna or something, because of which he was born in Krishna's courtyard, in Krishna's courtyard well. So once the Yadus, in sometime in the future, the Yadus were playing some ball or something and went inside the well. Then they called for Krishna to help because they saw this huge lizard. They thought it's some kind of danger. So then Krishna came, he put his hand, elongated till the bottom of the well, and picked up this lizard and brought it out. As soon as the hand touched the lizard, he got purified of all the reactions, all the sinful reactions. Immediately, what happened? The beautiful form of King Nriga came back and he started offering prayers to Krishna. So, this is a story given in Krishna book. This happened in Dwarka. So, what lesson do you learn from this? All of you are able to understand the story? And what lesson do you learn? Okay, Karmakanda is not the way to go. Yeah. Karmakanda means you have to be so specific and so particular. Any mistake here and there, you don't get the fruit. And for example, there was this demon called as Tvashta. His son was killed by Indra before. So he started performing yajna to get a son to kill Indra. So then he said, Indra Shatroho. There was some mispronunciation in his mantra. No, there's different meters in Vedic. Like you say, Om Sahasrashirasha Purusha Sahasrakshat Sahasrapat Sabbhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtadshangulam Purushame Vedagam Sarvam. So if you do instead of Sarvam, you only do Sarvam, is different meaning. So it's very particular, especially Karma Khanda. Not very easy. So what happened? This Tvashta, when he wanted to get a son to kill Indra, because of mispronunciation in the yajna, he got a son to be killed by Indra. One small mistake. Instead of getting a son to kill Indra, he got a son to be killed by Indra. So Karmakanda is very, very particular and specific. Any mistake is danger for oneself. Okay, thank you. Any other lesson from the story, what we learned?
Krishna can free you from any curse or anything bad that might have happened. It's only him who can free you from that.
Very good. Yeah. So Krishna can, if we include Krishna in our life, he can free us from any kind of reaction. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Sarva papebhyo means not only of this life, of all life, whatever karmic baggage is there, good or bad, Krishna can free one. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't worry. If you choose me despite any obstacle, for example, when Karna is down from the chariot fixing his wheel, Krishna is telling Arjuna, shoot. Just imagine you are in Arjuna's position. You are a very courageous warrior, brave warrior. You are never known for taking a coward route. Now, when coward route of a coward. So now, when Karna is saying, Arjuna, be a man. don't shoot. This is not the time to shoot. Let me fix my wheel. I'll get on the chariot and let's fight like warriors. Arjuna is getting influenced. He said, yeah, of course. Yeah, he is hesitant to shoot. Krishna said, now is this the time to shoot. If you are in Arjuna's position, will you be able to shoot? Knowing that in the future, everyone might talk about this. And how you took a route of a coward is not the bravest thing to do. And he's a Kshatriya. Kshatriya blood flowing in him. How can he act such like a coward? But Arjuna was Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Because he was surrendered to Krishna, he immediately took his arrow and shot Karna. So this is what it means. So now one can say, but this is cheating. Dharma Yuddha, isn't it? So now what does Krishna say? Aham tvam sarva papevyu. If you follow me, I'll remove all the karma. I'll remove all the sinful action. So why not to follow me? For example, when Yudhishthir was asked to speak a lie, in Mahabharata he was asked to speak a lie because to kill Drona was very difficult. Only way to do that is to disarm Drona, and that would happen when he would go into a mood of distress when hearing that his son had died. So simple, he only had to hear these words from a truthful person, definitely not from Bhima, isn't it? So now Krishna said that Yudhishthir is the person whose words will be believed by Dronacharya. He will not believe anyone else's words, not even mine. So he told Yudhishthir, all you have to say is Ashwatthama has what? Sorry. Yeah, he has been killed. He has been killed. So now Yudhishthir, Hatohata. Okay. So now Yudhishthir, all he had to do is follow Krishna. But because he was known to be truthful, he couldn't do it. Now Krishna is telling Yudhishthir to lie, isn't it? But when the absolute person who sets what is truth, what is lies, he is telling you to lie, then that becomes truth. That becomes dharma. To lie becomes dharma. So Yudhishthira said, no, I cannot do that. I cannot lie. So then what happened? Because of his punya, his chariot was always 1 inch above 1 feet above the ground, like demigods. Like demigods don't touch the ground. His chariot was also like that. But as soon as he said he didn't agree to Krishna's words, his chariot came down. Because he didn't follow Krishna's words. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. The hellish experience towards the end. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. But of course, that was only an illusion put by Indra. Is also there. So, yeah, of course, then later on they say, Yudhishthir says, he agrees to say Ashwatthama, the elephant died. Because they killed one elephant called as Ashwatthama. So, then when he said Ashwatthama, when he was saying the elephant, that time Bhima blew a loud conch shell. And then as he said killed, Drona went into distress. And so on the story goes. But you see, here what am I trying to say is when Yudhishthir did not follow Krishna immediately, it was he lost his punya, piety. So Krishna says that whenever we follow what Krishna says, that means the laws of God, what scriptures are saying, then we are not bound by work. So therefore, as soon as you involve Krishna in your life, all the reactions are gone. happen with Arjuna, happen with anyone who has added Krishna in their life. Because Krishna promises, Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo. I remove all the reactions to all of your actions for all the lifetimes. Mhm. Amen. Okay, any other point from the story? Yes, no? Okay. So, in this story, we find similar to King Nriga, we also perform fruitive activities, isn't it? And that fruitive activity is called as Kama Sankalpa, with a determination to enjoy. Anything done in this world with a determination to enjoy, like let me donate to the temple so that I'll be known as a great charitable person. It is? Is it free from reaction or bound with reaction? It's not necessarily the action, it's also the intention that counts. So, what one can say that since anyway I don't have that intention, let me not donate at all. That was not good because then the money is not purified. Hmm? Just as you don't give to the government, it becomes black money, isn't it? Not purified, black money. If you give to the government your tax, then it's white money. Similarly, you give God, give God some share of your work, some share of whatever you accept in your life, then it becomes purified. Someone has to still give. So anyway, Kama Sankalpa means anything done to enjoy is Kama Sankalpa, a desire to enjoy. Then it is said, Jnanagni Dagda Karmanam. Yeah. So you come here. Yeah. So let us come back to the reactions of work. So reactions of work are, as I said, first one is Kutam, then Bijam, Phala Unmukha, and Prarabdha. What is Kutam? Kutam is the tendency to act sinfully. Hmm. Bijam is when the tendency becomes stronger, it has created a seed from which the action, the sinful action will be produced. So seed is a higher stage. Hmm. And then comes Phala Unmukha. Phala Unmukha means one is about to perform the action. Prarabdha means it is already performed. Hmm. So you find, let me see if I don't have documented this, I have it in laptop. Mm, Can I just get the document? Let me just share. Sin Cigarette down. I think this one. Yeah. Let me share this. Okay, are you able to see this? If you see it in writing, you can remember better. Okay, can you see this? Yeah, all of you can see? Yeah. Yeah. What is Kutam? Can you read the second and the third column?
Kutam, almost ready to produce the seed. Proclivity, to enjoy and control separate from Krishna in various ways.
Yeah, that means to a tendency to act sinfully. Yeah. Bija.
Bija, seed. Desire seed. Thinking, feeling, and willing in the mind. Coming to a decision to perform a particular act.
Yeah, that is seed. Seed has already formed in the heart. Then Phalonmukha, fruit.
Activity,
Performing it. Yeah, performing the action. And Prarabdha.
Reap or harvest. Reaction.
Yeah, reaction means what? Yeah, Sukh Dukh. Correct. Correct. Yes. Hmm. And again, it goes in cycle. For example, if a thief, a person has a tendency to steal, and this tendency may be coming For example, say your friend said, "Come, I'll show you something," and he goes to his friend's home and he shows an entire chest of gold coins or something, and he say he tells you, "Tonight we are going to steal this." You're saying, "Why will I steal? I don't want to get in trouble." Somehow he convinces you, and you also partake in the act, and you both steal. And after stealing, you became rich. So you developed a reaction. What? First of all, kutam. Kutam is a tendency to steal. You have developed it. That means in the future, if someone says, "Let's steal," it is difficult for you to say no, isn't it? That's kutam. And when one falling to that tendency, if one doesn't have good association, then what happens? It becomes a seed. That means one is planning. Okay, I think I should do it. Maybe I should go here. I think that guy is pretty rich. I saw this guy with a new gadget. I want to steal that. So he's planning for it. That is called as bijam. Now bijam will sprout. So then he is performing the action of stealing. That is called as phalanmukha, the fruit of the seed. And then prarabdha. After stealing, what happens? So in this way, one is as one acts in this world, he is creating an entire mesh network of reactions. Then one is completely hand tied and feet tied and body tied to all these different types of reactions. For example, your friend may say, "What are you doing? You're going to temple and chanting Hare Krishna? Just look at me, how cool I am." You know, he's saying, "I'm cool because I'm free to smoke." Is he free to smoke? How many of you say yes? He's free to smoke. Yeah, he is not free. He is bound. You tell him, if you're really free, don't smoke and show me. Don't smoke for 1 week. That is real freedom, isn't it? So people can justify. When people have bad habits, they can justify saying, "Yeah, I'm free to do it. You Hare Krishnas are not." Yeah. But no one is free in this world if we are all conditioned. But Krishna consciousness is the best conditioning. Krishna consciousness, if you follow the Krishna conscious rules and regulations as given in the Bhagavad Gita, one lives a happy life. Sukham kartum abhyayam. Happily one lives his life. Whereas all the others who are saying, "I'm free to smoke, I'm free to do this, I'm free to do that," they're not actually free, they are actually bound. You look at all these, sometimes you see like fruit seller on the road, street, homeless person, they're addicted to drugs, they're addicted to intoxication. They're addicted to so many other kinds of bad habits. What they're so addicted, whatever money falls in their pocket, they go and first of all fulfill their sinful desires. Isn't it addiction? Can they say, "Okay, now I don't have money. When I have enough money, I'll smoke"? No, they can't do that. Once my teacher, he met an auto rickshaw driver, and the auto rickshaw driver saw Sadhu sitting in the this thing. So he started talking. In my life, this is the problem, that is problem. And he was saying, "I don't make enough money to even help my family." Then my teacher asked, "Why? What do you do with all the money you get?" He said, "I earn about 4,000 rupees a month." I don't know when was this, so I'm just giving a figure. "But my expenses are more." Then he said, "Okay, what are your expenses?" "For cigarette, I spend so much. For drinking, I spend so much. Then to gamble with my friends, I spend so much. And all put together, I spend about 6,000 rupees. Income is, expenditure is 6,000. So then Radhesham, my teacher said that, okay, very easy. You first of all cut your smoking, drinking, gambling, and probably meat eating. How much do you save? He said, if I cut all this, then 3,000 is saved. 3,000 or 4,000 is saved. Only 2,000 expenditure. Isn't it easy to save money now? So now income is how much? 4,000. Expenditure is 2,000. In this way, if one actually manages finance, it's very easy. But because one is addicted, he's not free. Sorry, controlled by? Controlled by all kinds of bad actions, sinful actions, proclivities, and therefore one is bound. And this is called as reaction. So therefore, in this verse, what is being said? See, this kutam bija phalon mukha prarabdha, these are different levels or different depths of reaction. Sometimes if you do prayashchitta, I did something bad. Now some people know I did something bad, they slap themselves. Or in Vedic literatures also there's some prayashchitta mentioned, some atonement. If you do atonement, what you get purified is only the top surface of reactions, sinful reactions. But does it remove from the root the tendency to act sinfully? That remains. Therefore, when King Parikshit hears the solution, Shukadeva Goswami in the Srimad Bhagavatam, he gives a description of people who act sinfully. There's a special uh, place called as hell, and he gives a description of hellish planets. And then hearing this, King Parikshit is saying, oh, he's a king, he's a saintly king. So he's saying, what is the use of all these hells? Because I have seen when someone wants to steal, he is caught and put behind the bars. Even after suffering and coming out of the prison, he steals again. So what is the use of putting him in the prison? Kuch use wa? No use. So then he says, Manye Kunjara Shauchavat. It is like elephant which goes into a river, takes bath, comes out and rolls on the dust. What is the use of taking bath? So Prayashchitta is useless, Parikshit says. And Shukadeva Goswami congratulates him and says, yes, Prayashchitta is useless. Why? Because the top level sinful reactions are gone. But the root, the depths of reactions remain. Yes?
What if someone is trying to get then Prashit is it still bad? Still,
Yeah. So what do you mean by getting better?
as in like you look at all the activities you did from the data, then you know like
Asking?
you're asking Krishna like whatever you did,
Yeah.
you know.
So if you're asking Krishna means you're involving Krishna. Prayashchitta doesn't involve Krishna. Yeah, I was coming to that only. Yeah. So prayaschitta means is like you do some other action to counter your remove the reactions of sinful action. So Shukadeva Goswami said, yes, you're right, it doesn't work. And therefore he said you have to come. Other ways you gain knowledge. Okay. If you steal, you're going to jail. If you don't, you can lead a happy life. You gain knowledge. What the consequences if you steal? What happens? So then one is better, one is in a better position to not steal. You agree? When you have knowledge about it. But is the desire to steal gone in the heart? The kutam and bijam still remain. That is when Shukadeva Goswami says, only by the practice of bhakti to Krishna, it removes the roots of sinful desires from the heart. From its root, it's removed, sinful desire. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva prayanaha agham dhunvanti karsnena niharimiva bhaskaraha. Just as when sun rises, all the fog is dissipated. Similarly, when we practice bhakti yoga, immediately all sinful reactions are gone. Sinful reactions are gone means at all depths it is gone. Like that he says. So, Hare Krishna. So, when we come to the, yeah. So therefore, you see, if you read the purport, Prabhupada is saying, yeah, because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all kinds of sense gratificatory propensities, it is to be understood that he has burnt up all the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position as servant of Krishna, like that he says. So, in this world, when you look around, you see devotees also working. Yeah. How many of you are working here? Hare Krishna. Nice to have you back. Yeah, how many of you are working? Yeah. Okay. How many of you are studying? How many of you are neither? Okay. So either working or studying, isn't it? Of course, job search status also there. Searching for job. Yeah. So now for a person who is not in knowledge, he thinks, you are also working, I'm also working. A materialist thinks devotees also have to work, we also have to work. But there's a difference. Devotees also eat, we also eat. There's a difference. Devotees sleep. Materialist think I am also sleeping. What is the difference? But there's a difference. Can anyone say what is the difference? Externally, activities performed by devotees and materialistic people are same. But what is the difference? Okay, what is the motive?
Everything like Krishna conscious, keeping Krishna in between.
Everything is offered. Okay. And you said everything, keeping
Like
everything?
the motive is Krishna. Like everything that we are doing,
How
right?
can you eat for Krishna?
Prasad,
You can
because
feed him,
Krishna
no?
gave the body, we are just preserving.
Okay, you're preserving Krishna's body. Krishna,
What he
with the
gave,
body, what he has
yeah,
given. Okay.
just for
And how can you sleep for Krishna?
that is
It's
just
very nice.
maintaining the body. You are maintaining the body.
So how much ever you sleep, you say maintain your body. You can sleep how much ever you want and say
No,
maintaining the
not
body.
not much. Only like a what's like prescribed in the Shastra. Also, the sleep is offered to
Sleep, okay. I mean, you cannot go to samadhi and sleep.
no, but like when you sleep, you just like offer your sleep.
Okay. Yeah, you know you take some rest so you get energy to serve. Right?
Also, there are three modes, right? Mode of
Ignorance.
and ignorance. So in the night, it's mode of ignorance.
You want to vent it out. Okay, good. So okay, so you can be more sattva to worship Krishna. That's what you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, like operate in three modes. Like that's why you say that you should chant in the morning.
Correct.
That's the Brahma mode, or it's mode of goodness.
Mm,
And then you work during the day, that's mode
correct.
of passion, and then during the night, it's mode of ignorance. Just
So therefore you sleep. Okay. You can chant also. Chanting doesn't depend on any modes. Yeah.
Does Satvaguna timing start at 12 a.m.?
No, sattva starts at Brahma Muhurta. Maybe like it depends. You have to check the calendar and everything. But generally 3:30, 4 o'clock morning is sattva guna. Hmm? No, pure devotee has no restrictions. He chants throughout. Hmm. So in this way, you find what Prabhupada is saying, only a person with full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. That means when we look at a devotee of Krishna, you feel that he is also studying. I'm also studying, but there's a difference. He is studying with the proper consciousness to use his studies in Krishna Seva. Someone is working with the right, a devotee is working in this world with the right consciousness of using the fruits of work and his work for Krishna Seva. Someone is eating to get strength for Krishna Seva. Devotee is sleeping to get enough rest to work for Krishna. So you see, though the materialists and the spiritualists, they seem to be doing the same activities, there is a complete diametrically opposite motivation. Why do people in this world eat? For sense enjoyment. Sleep for sense enjoyment. Work for sense enjoyment. Whatever they do for sense enjoyment. And why does devotee eat, sleep, work for Krishna's enjoyment? And therefore Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions, what is that verse? Krishnendriya priti ch tare premanam. Atmendriya priti vancha dhare dhare bali kam. Krishnendra priti icha dhare premanam. This is the difference between lust and love. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains. What is lust? When one does things for oneself. What is love? When one does it for Krishna. Yeah. So when we do it for Krishna, we don't have to worry because Krishna can remove the reactions of all our work. And this is the benefit of knowing Krishna and hearing knowledge, gaining knowledge about Krishna. And therefore it is said here, see, one is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor, not one or two once in a while, every endeavor, whatever he does, is devoid of desire for sense gratification. You cannot kill desire. It's not possible. In Buddhism, they say you have to kill desire because at the end of the day, you don't exist. It's voidism. But we don't say that. We say the spirit soul is always in existence. Krishna is always Sat, eternal. Spirit soul is also eternal. There's no point we can destroy our identity. It's always in existence. So desire, similarly, desire also cannot be killed. But you can purify the desires, like one of you said in the beginning. You said, purify the desires. Yeah. So we have to purify our desires from sense gratification to sense purification. Now we endeavor as devotees, we also have to work, study, do the needful. But now we don't do for sense gratification. We do it with a higher goal. We do it, but somehow we have to glorify Krishna. We have got good brain, use it to glorify Krishna. Use science to glorify Krishna. You have a good skill, use it to glorify Krishna. You're an artist, draw Krishna's painting. You're a cook, cook for Krishna. You can always dovetail whatever tendencies you have to serve God. Yeah, become a good example. Yeah. So therefore, it is said, the endeavor, every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. And he is said by the sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burnt up. So get free or get fried means what? Either you get free from reactions or get fried from those reactions. One who doesn't take to Krishna consciousness, he is going to get fried from those reactions. I mean, I'm pretty sure we are all were getting fried before we came to temple, isn't it? Basically, Maya was roasting us and deep frying us like pakoras. That is when we start questioning, why am I suffering? And then we get a clue that is because of our own past actions. So many reactions have been built up. Yeah. For whom the reactions of work have been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge. And then what is the perfect knowledge? How to act in this world. That is for Krishna Seva. Anyone has any questions? Next time we'll begin with verse 20. These are all very important verses. Yeah. How would you share the screen? Actually, you could have told me this thing loudly. I did not see the message. But anyway, I think most I spoke only. I just read the verse and purport and used much of the screen. Yes. Any questions from what we heard today? Yes.
If, for example, if a devotee does service or something, pride about that. So, of course, he has love for Krishna. Someone shows him pride. If that person doesn't have humility and all.
Okay, if a devotee is trying to serve Krishna, but then pride takes over. Well, then what Krishna cannot see in his devotee is pride. So Krishna purifies the pride. Like Indra, when the pastime of the Govardhan. So when Krishna saw that Nanda Maharaj and all the coward men, they were performing sacrifice to please Indra. So Krishna understood Indra is proud, thinking that he is the provider of the rains. He's not acknowledging who is giving him the capacity to provide rains. So then Krishna wanted to purify Indra. So what did he do? He told Nanda Maharaj that you divert all this worship to Govardhan. You worship the hill. Because when you worship the hill is what is giving grass to the cows, playground for all of us, and all the resources for livelihood and sustenance. So worship the hill. So they diverted the worship. This wasn't tolerated by Indra. So then Indra, with his Samvartaka clouds come at the time of devastation of universe. That time they come to inundate the entire land. He called Samvartaka clouds to not dissolve, submerge this land of Vrindavan. And what did Krishna do? He called all the Brajavasis and lifted the Govardhan. Everyone took shelter of the Govardhan hill. And because Krishna was touching Govardhan, not a leaf, Indra was throwing thunderbolts and so much he was doing damage. But not a leaf moved from Govardhan because Krishna's touch was there. And then when Indra tried all his best and nothing happened, that is the time he understood Krishna is not an ordinary boy. Then he understood he is the same Supreme Lord and he went and surrendered to Krishna. Then he surrendered, took his helmet and placed at the lotus feet of Krishna. Then he said, I am not the king. You are actually the king. And Krishna said, okay, keep the helmet. So, yeah,
Krishna will teach a lesson.
of course, yeah. So, what he cannot digest is pride in his devotees. Hmm? Yes? So, they are considered to be Antranga Shakti of the Lord. They are his internal potency. Then every behavior is enacted in a way that is pleasing to Krishna. Some people like, if you are always submissive, they like the person likes. Some people like it when you are joking. If someone is surrounded by people who always submissive, it's a little boring. He also likes to have people who are joking. Some people who are a little angry type. So different people give different kinds of pleasure to Krishna. So they are all Antaranga Shakti knows exactly the desire of the Lord. That's how they act. So you cannot say Lakshmi is proud. The Shakti of the Lord. There's no tinge of pride. Any other question? You know the verse, no? Uh-oh. Interestingly, I'm not. I have some expectation of question. That question is not coming. Anyway, so you can ask a question maybe during prasadam time. And the next time we'll start from 20th verse, and we'll just do 5 minutes chanting. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Also, one thing is we have this for those of you who came late. We have Janmashtami coming up 26th of August. Definitely there are volunteering opportunities. And at the same time, we are trying to distribute 108 Krishna books. So this is taken from Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, which contains most of the pastimes of Krishna. The entire canto is the biggest canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It contains about 90 chapters. So Srila Prabhupada has given a summary study of Krishna pastimes in that book. So it's called as Krishna. The Supreme Person have got it. That's the book. So maybe Sachin can show it to you later. So is it? Okay. Behind. So this is the book. How much is it?
15.
15. After discount?
Yeah.
The working devotees can make a discount for the students. And whatever donations come to the books, they go for printing more books. So we have taken a challenge of giving out 108 of these. So if anyone doesn't have this, it's a must have. In some point in your life you have to take it. So why not today? And good things should not be delayed, no? So you can approach Sachin Prabhu or someone. Just like that. I was saying 54. I'm not confident in giving out 108. Okay, we'll do chanting. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita,